Okay? 3, 2, 1. I just want to get this out of the way. I don't hate Persona 5. I have a collective 400 plus hours in both games, and I think they're both really good games. Although I'm not going to give them any spectacular praise, I will say that it's a game worth its price tag. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's talk about one of my problems with it. I don't like Morgana. More specifically, I don't like how Morgana takes away the player's input, and I don't like how he exemplifies the true problem I have with Persona 5, that being how badly the silent protagonist thing was done. At least, I thought it was implemented weakly. I'm not sure about the rest of the community though. There are tons of instances where Joker's silence is painfully loud. In the main story cutscenes where he's hanging out with his friends, it's more than likely that Joker will only say something once or twice. Even when hanging out with confidants, you know, when he's the only other person in the conversation, the whole scene is carried by the other person. I have to give Alice credit here though. Having Joker talk more would require the writing and recording of more lines, which means production costs would increase as well. But when there are cutscenes that have Joker just sitting there like a sack of potatoes while the other thieves talk about important stuff, it gets to be a little annoying. Come on guys, we haven't lost yet. We can still keep fighting. Yeah, and now that everyone is riled up, I'm gonna stand here and not say anything else. Okay. This problem is exemplified even more during the text conversations. Oh my god, do I hate the text conversations. They're fine during the first few playthroughs, but during New Game Plus, where I just fast forward through them, it really shows how much Joker is just a blank slate for you to fill out. Oh, but you don't even get enough paint, so you can only fill out a corner of the canvas. What was I talking about there? Alright. Some of the text conversations have you text once, and that's it. And that's the standard. There are sometimes you text more than once, but there are also times where you just don't reply at all. You'd think the opinion of their leader would be more important to the Phantom Thieves, especially when one of their founding principles was to make sure everyone was on board with a target. A principle so important to them that it persists all throughout the game. You know that little conversation that takes place every time you go over a new Mementos target? That's them making sure everyone is on board with the target. Of course, most of you probably don't need me to tell you that, but there are probably some people who have yet to play the game. Tangent aside, I can't give Atlas as much credit here. I mean, yes, having Joker reply more will require more writing, but the choices you pick already don't matter much to the story. So what's the issue with 2 to 3 more lines for each message choice? That's in the ballpark of around 300 lines in a game that takes around 100 hours to complete. To be fair, I can overlook my issues with texting when there's a bigger factor at hand. I really don't like Morgana. Well, it's more complicated than that. I don't hate Morgana, but I don't like him either, and both reasons why tie into my problem with this game. When Morgana is off being his own character and stealing Haru's character development, he's fine. He's not my favorite character, but I don't resent having him in my bag all the time. But when he's at his worst is when he becomes Joker's puppet master. There are a handful of instances in the game where Morgana asks other characters to speak for him, and a good amount of those are fine. But when he hijacks a conversation and throws Joker off to the sidelines, it's a little bit less fine. There's one instance I can think of that really rubbed me the wrong way, and it's kind of the reason why I wanted to make this video. After defeating Kanashiro's shadow and stealing his treasure, Makoto will call you to tell you that the debt has been called off. My problem with this scene is that you're given no more than one uninfluencing contribution before Morgana decides that he wants to steal the show and hijacks the call. It's even more annoying that you help him do so by tilting the phone towards him. On top of that, does this even make sense? I get that you can only understand him because you've heard him talk in the metaverse, but the phone doesn't work like that. Wouldn't it just transmit his meowing instead of actual words? Why am I letting a cat talk in my place anyways? Anyways, Other than that abomination, there's another scene before that one that's pretty bad. Here, Morgana invites Yusuke to stay with you at LeBlanc. I get that he does this to move the plot along and have the characters bond in the following scene, but it's a really annoying way to do it. Even the writers knew this was annoying as they had Joker shake the bag to get back at him. If you wanted to defend this scene, you could say this scene is supposed to be funny. I mean, not only does it kill two birds with one stone by providing a reason to get all of the characters together at LeBlanc, but it also provides some comedy while doing it. Well, you could say that. I could also say that the joke only leaves a bitter taste due to this happening multiple times in the story. Making fun of something then turning around to do it yourself is stupid, and it hurts the experience in this situation.
Wake up, get up, get up there. Raise your voice, I guess.
After beating Persona 5 for my first time, I gave the game an 8 out of 10. Even after sinking hundreds of hours into both games, and even 100%ing both of them, I still agree with that score. I love the story, and I love the characters as if they were family, but there were still times throughout the story that I felt bored, and it's all because of the problems I've laid out. I can appreciate characters that were meant to be annoying. For example, I hate Akechi, but I appreciate him as a character because he was written in a way that was made to make you hate him. This, however, was not on purpose, and I don't like it one bit. This problem is exemplified even more during the— did I say that right? Some of the text conversations have you text once and that's it. And that's the standard. There are some times that you'd think that the opinion of their leader would be more important to the Phantom Thieves. Phantom Thieves! I knew I was gonna say that! Even the writers knew that this was annoying as they had Roker? Why did my brain want to say Roker? You know that little conversation that takes place every time you go over a new Mementos target? I probably could have kept that one, but I stopped. It's even more annoying that you help him do so by tilting the Ford. That was a minute.